Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. I'm Vince. That's Steve. Steve, how are you doing? We have to talk about weather again, unfortunately. Are you excited to talk about weather?
Sure. Yeah, it's something we deal with every day. Why not?
All right, cool. But as long as he's good with it, I'm good with it. I want to say before we get started, disclaimer. If you're watching this now, you're in the future. Steve and I are in the past. If you're coming here for Galaxy stuff, unfortunately, we don't have any because the game has not happened. So there's nothing about the Galaxy on this piece of In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. I'm sorry. Now, let's talk about weather.
Good.
Steve, quite the weather delay. What does a coach do to simultaneously focus, but I'm sure you got to stay a little loose? Like I talked to Maxime Crepeau and he was like, you want to stay focused, but you don't want to focus too much because you don't know when you're going to go back out there.
That's precisely it. You don't really know. And so you are kind of preparing for everything, preparing for our team admin, Jeff, to come in at any moment and say, guys, in 10 minutes, we're out. The only thing you do know is you have, depending on the delay, 10-minute warm-up, 15-minute warm-up. I believe it's a maximum 15-minute warm-up when you do go back out. So you do have that little window for sure.
Any games that you guys play? Tic-tac-toe, little soccer, tennis? What are you guys doing back there?
Yeah, a lot of soccer, tennis going on in the locker room. Trying to throw the ball and balance it on the chair. So there's a lot of silly games going on, just passing the time. I got on the bike a little bit, just moved. Yeah, it's just really just trying to stay focused, but not expend too much energy because you still have 90 minutes to play.
After the match, you guys were in a hurry. You had to hustle out of there, but you gave a little post-game to LAFC that was put up on Twitter, and I compliment you a lot about your post-game talks just because they're refreshing to me. And you talked about tactics.
Yeah.
And specifically what you wanted to do in that game. But what I want for the viewer, because some people don't quite understand when you talk about the way LAFC plays versus the tactics. So can you give them a little talk of how you think of tactics versus playing style?
Well, if I don't say anything to the guys and I just let them go play, they're going to have a high press. It's going to be energetic. It'll be up and down. It'll be fast and aggressive and hopefully goal-oriented. But if I ask them to do something different, that's what we mean by tactics. So in this particular case, we had a very congested schedule, travel, the weather delay. We felt going into this game maybe a lower line of confrontations for two reasons. One, to conserve energy, and the second reason, they send both of their outside backs extremely high, and there's a lot of room to counter into. And so we chose that match plan for our players, and I think they did a good job.
Carlos shot, goal! Carlitos Vela va a entrar por abajo, Carlos Vela va a venir el gol, 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 gol! I just want a ball, somebody I can call. Trophies on the wall, can I really have it all? Can I really have it?
Let's move on to the theme this week. The theme this week is summer vacation for two reasons. One, we will be taking a little bit of hiatus from the show, 1 week hiatus, because you guys will have a 2-week break where you're getting a chance to rest, relax, much needed, as you've said. And also, Memorial Day is kind of traditional start of summer for a lot of people, and it's coming up. So I think it fits here.
It fits.
Yeah. You like summer vacations?
Who doesn't? Although I didn't really have too many of them, to be honest with you. But there are some. We'll have something to talk about. Not a whole lot due to a busy schedule as a kid playing soccer.
Yeah, well, let's start there.
All right.
Best summer vacation you can remember as a kid? Maybe a trip, something you did, somewhere you went. What was the best?
Honestly, the summers where you just have 6 weeks off and you just be a kid and I was out all day outside, surfing every single day, surf camp a couple weeks, growing up. Those were my most enjoyable summer vacations. But there was one family vacation, a reunion up in the mountains in the summertime, which was great as well. We got to know my cousins a little better and the rest of the extended family.
Fly or drive?
We drove most of the time.
Yeah? So what's the drive like? The Cherundolo family?
When we moved from Rockford, Illinois to San Diego, quite some time ago, there was a station wagon.
Always a station
wagon. And I was in the back, of course, the little one. And then that station wagon evolved into a minivan at some point in the, must have been early 90s, which was great too for trips.
You passed the time playing games in the station wagon, reading magazines, baseball cards, music. What were you normally doing?
Riddles, games, and a little bit of reading.
Type of vacation guy that you are you a activities, like let's go to the museums, let's learn some culture, or are you, I'm gonna lay on the beach, leave me alone? What's your vacation mode?
If I had to choose, I'd say I'm more out and about, but I can sit at the beach and lay there for 7 days straight if need be. I recall after the 2010 World Cup, I did exactly that. I just took a week and laid on the beach and did nothing, and it was great.
What beach are we talking about?
This was actually in Tahiti and Bora Bora. Not a bad place to visit.
laying on the beach when you're in beach mode, there's got to be a cocktail or drink of some sort. What's the summer drink? What's the Steve Cherundolo pick drink of choice?
Well, it kind of depends on what phase of life we're talking about. So early on, it was certainly a beer.
Yeah, okay. This is Steve,
This was Steve,
early 20s?
player, early 20s.
Okay. What kind of beer? Pilsner?
Yeah,
lager?
usually a Pilsner.
Okay.
Usually a Pilsner.
Good man.
Yeah. But according to the German brewing rules,
Of course,
right?
of course. The Munich Accord or whatever it is
Yes,
that brings that
yes,
together,
exactly.
yes.
Do you know when that was?
It's like in the 1500s, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
15,
pretty old.
1600s?
It's pretty old, yes.
Let's go to middle-aged Steve. What's his drink of choice on summer vacation?
Still beer.
Okay.
It evolved eventually. It evolved into more of a margarita, and now it's, I'd say, more of something along the lines of maybe just tequila on the rocks or a ranch water.
A ranch water, all right. Some Texas people are like, I dig that.
Yeah.
That's definitely a very Texas-y South thing. You have young kids. What kind of vacations are you able to take the kids on?
My kids love going to the beach. And so we have done a few of those already. A great vacation is going somewhere, having your own place, wherever it is, maybe on the beach or in the city, an Airbnb, what have you. Be able to cook your own food. So not so much the hotel and the big restaurants and all that. Kind of doing our own thing for a week or two and just kind of being away from everything, but having plenty of things to do. So one of the places we loved to vacation in the summer in Germany was Mallorca in Spain. It's a wonderful place to visit. Has cool beaches, has a lot to do, a lot of history as well. Great food, and very similar weather to ours.
What dish are you having in Mallorca? What are we eating?
Paella.
Paella. That's what I'd like. I would like some paella. Do you have a vacation horror story? I mean, if you go on enough vacation, there's going to be a time where something goes wrong.
I do remember one family vacation to Washington, D.C., and it was supposed to be educational but fun at the same time. I was sick for the entire week in the hotel room, so sorry, Mom, I blew that one.
Last question for you, Steve. Dream scenario, you have all the money in the world, you can go anywhere in the world. Where are you going on vacation?
So fortunately, we've been fortunate. We've been around a lot. We've seen a lot of places as a family. And the one place where everybody in my family says we are definitely going back, and time again we'll go back, is Hawaii. It's beautiful. It's something magical about those islands, and we're going to Hawaii then.
Good choice. That is another In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. As I said, we're going on a little bit of hiatus, a little bit of our summer vacation. So we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll be back with Steve. Maybe with something fun, maybe a location shoot.
We can do that.
If we can put some time in. So we'll take some suggestions from the fans and we'll see what we can do. But Steve, you're always great. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.